Multiple streams of income. Let's talk about them. Welcome back to Transaction Care. My name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily. Like the flower because we are learning and growing together. And this is Transaction Care, the number one real estate show on the market. And today we're going to discuss multiple streams of income. Because why? One is too close to none. Yes, the first time I heard that, my mind was blown. And I realized, yes, being a transaction coordinator is amazing, and I know most of my content is to inspire those that are coming into this industry to put their best foot forward, to focus on one project at a time, and create a thriving career for themselves moving forward. But I also want to make sure I'm giving you guys the full truth and nothing but the truth, okay? In my journey, being self-employed for the past 8+ years and counting, God willing. Prior to that, I worked a 9-to-5, and that was my only stream of income. That was all I did. And when I was laid off, I was screwed. When I quit my job, thankfully, I had enough in my savings to last me a few months. But most importantly, I had work lined up. But through that process, I have experienced extreme burnout, depression, multiple instances where I wanted to quit, where I wanted to give up on transaction coordination, where I wanted to just lay in bed all day and do nothing and not care about a bill, not care about a debt, not care about anything, but just nothing. But once I got over those moments in my life, which they still creep up on occasion, don't get me wrong, I'm human. But I've had those moments where I realized, okay, real estate is very fickle and it fluctuates. So keep in mind for those coming into real estate, every season is different. So when you're earning money, it's not the same as when you were earning at a 9-to-5. It's not the same as when you were earning at that part-time job. There aren't these consistent checks coming in unless you work for them. And in the beginning of my self-employment career, I very much was transaction coordination all the way through and through. But then, as I mentioned earlier, life started to life. I had lost my grandmother, and I went straight from a 9-to-5 to running a business without a gap, without a space to process, to unpack, or to travel, or to just take vacation. And all of it overlapped, on top of having to caretake, then eventually a year later start to grieve, which I didn't do. I didn't immediately start grieving. It took me a lot of time to grieve everything I had just gone through, about 3 years. So having multiple streams of income have been helpful in my journey in rediscovering myself, because I've realized not only is one too close to none, and I'm not saying having one stream of income is the worst thing in the world, because if you're managing your money right, if you're saving, investing, as close to little or no debt at all, then by all means, proceed. I'm talking to those that might be struggling to get their business off of the ground, or maybe they're not quite sure if this is the direction they want to go in, or you just enjoy variety in your life. I'm a mix of all those things. At this point in my life, at 42 years old, would I appreciate 1 or 2 stable streams of income that I could rely on consistently for a while? Yes, absolutely. And that's what I'm working towards. But right now, it's looking like, okay, let me just have a variety. So at any given moment, these streams of income can pay me when I least expect it, and some when I do expect it. So think about all the ways you're currently making money right now. Is it enough for you? Like I said, if it's enough, then proceed. Drop some tips in the comments of what you're doing right, okay? But for those that feel like maybe you could use an additional stream of income, and I'm not saying 2 full annual salaries. I'm talking about an extra $100, an extra $1,000, extra couple $1,000s here and there. Doesn't hurt. But we're going to start from what I'm making and how much it's making, as well as how often I do these things. And feel free to incorporate some of these things in your business structure. So when there are seasons when times have slowed down, you'll have a backup plan, or you'll have some things lined up so you can take those slow seasons, rely on maybe this extra income that you've saved or you will be earning, and use this time to plant more seeds in the active income that's generating from your mainstream. Okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to start from my biggest stream of income to lowest. And, well, I would say not lowest in pay, but lowest in frequency. Okay? So at the top, we have transaction coordination. And I'm going to list them first. I'm going to break down how much money and how often I do them. Okay? So at the very top, we have real estate transaction coordination, which is a service I offer to realtors. Coaching, mentoring, training. That's all in one lump. Live streaming, content creation, content as a lead generator, TC vacation coverage, on-call assistance, office organizer, buy me a coffee, and reselling. I think those are all of my streams of income that I've named. I wrote them down. If any more come to mind, I will mention them in this conversation. But all of these streams of income are what make my income. So when it comes to transaction coordination, that is where I get the bulk of my income currently. And I charge anywhere from $450 and up, meaning wherever I work and have clients, it either depends on if I have to use that brokerage's fee or my own fee. So my fee outside of that particular brokerage starts at $500. And then it works its way up depending on the type of property, the number of units, the representation. So it could make me anywhere from $500 to $550 to $700 or more, just depending on the type of transaction. On average, I would say $500 per transaction. More recently, I started to incorporate a listing retainer fee. What does that mean? So as a transaction coordinator, when you're working on listings, at least here in California, San Francisco Bay Area particularly, we do all of our transactions upfront. So we don't wait for a buyer. We don't wait until things are pending to start sending out disclosures. We do everything the moment a listing agreement is signed. So I start preparing disclosures. I start ordering inspections, reports. The process begins. And some transactions are more urgent than others. But regardless, I'm still doing the work. And now anytime I have a new transaction, it's taking up space in my mind. And I had a lot of cancellations recently. In San Francisco, you rarely deal with cancellations, like very rarely. But when I had a deal get to the week of close of escrow and it fell out, it honestly shook me to my core. And I realized, once again, one is too close to none. So let me diversify my income, the way I spend my time, because you never know when you'll need those other streams in your life, okay? So after going through that, I realized something's got to give. I've been working so hard all year on all of these listings. This was last year in 2025. 2026, a few of them have closed, but not all. So what has to give? I either quit entirely and find something else that's going to be more consistent and reliable, or I consider charging a fee. So I started doing that. So any new realtor that I take on moving forward, no discounts and a non-refundable $100 fee. But if it closes, we just deduct that $100 from my actual fee. So it works out in my favor because the work that I've done doesn't go unpaid, but at the same time, it's not a huge loss on the realtor's part in terms of, money, because $100 is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but when they're working on transactions that are potential $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 commissions, $100 for peace of mind is worth it. And I had to tell myself that I am worth it, that if someone's willing to pay me this money, then good. And if they're not, I won't work with them. Point blank, period. Next up, coaching. So right now I have 3 main offerings that I provide. I have 90-minute strategy calls that have been pretty successful, but those are just one-off coaching sessions. So I may meet with you one time and we never speak again. I have group coaching, which I've recently implemented, and I have 90-minute sessions, coaching sessions on a monthly subscription, which is actually more affordable than just doing the one-off 90-minute session for $90. And then I also have one-on-one coaching long-term where we build out a plan for you. So those are my main offerings. I think 1, 2, 3. It's around 3 or 4 because I customize a lot of my offerings to people's needs. The biggest plan I have right now at this time is $1,200, which is for 12 sessions with me, 1 hour, and we could do them all in 12 days, in 12 hours, in 12 months. But the point of it all is for us to meet 12 times. And it is $100 per session per hour. And we can do coaching, training. It just depends on your needs, okay? My 90-minute strategy session, as I mentioned, is just that. We meet one time, and if you feel like doing more, we'll customize a plan to your needs and to your budget. Group coaching, it just started. So group coaching and monthly subscription, one-on-one coaching subscription is available through my Patreon. So if you're not a member of the Patreon, it's free to join. But if you want access to group coaching and or long-term monthly subscription of 90 minutes once a month, then definitely join one of those tiers. Group coaching is $25 a month, and 90-minute sessions once a month is $75. So it's a good deal if you subscribe. And that's all through Patreon and or my website. So just visit transactioncare.com to explore what will work for you. Also, if you have a question about any of this or setting up other streams of income for yourself, you can schedule a free discovery call with me. But you have to show up, and also check your spam folder because sometimes my emails land in the spam with your confirmations, your reminders. I send you guys attachments with frequently asked questions and answers. So please check your spam if you make a session with me because I do not want to miss you. I don't want you guys to miss your time with me. And I value my time as well. And if I'm sitting at the computer for 20 minutes waiting for you, it's something I just don't want to continuously do and then eventually have to charge for. You see what I'm saying? Or just stop completely. So it's important we do our due diligence to show up, to check our spam folder, to respond when I send an email, to confirm, cancel on your own, reschedule. Communication goes a long way, okay, guys? Next up, live streaming. So you guys you may have noticed that I've been doing a lot more live streaming on here, YouTube, TikTok, and I just introduced Twitch. I can't give too much of a breakdown of how all of these work, but because those are going to take forever to explain. But long story short, when you go live on TikTok, people can send you gifts like thank you for the flowers, thank you for there are these digital gifts that get translated as coins that if you meet a certain threshold can be converted into real money. So when I go live, people will send me gifts. You can also subscribe. And I get to just be myself online and talk, same way I'm doing in these videos. Then I also use content creation as a lead generator. So when I post online, even if my videos don't make me money through the app, I can redirect you guys to my website to join the community, to sign up for group coaching, to book a one-on-one session with me. So the more I talk about what I offer, or the more I talk about transaction coordination or real estate, that can eventually convert into a sale for myself. Merch. I didn't mention merch. I'll talk about that at the end and how that was actually a fail. So put a pin in that. Content. So I don't know if you all are aware, but through YouTube, if you have 1,000 subscribers and you maintain and reach 4,000 watch hours within a 365-year period, 365-day year period, 1 year. So if you post your first video today, that clock starts. So starting in August 17th, 2026 to August 17th, 2027, that clock resets over and over again, as each day goes by. So your count for August 18th next year is going to drop the hours from August 17th, 2026. Does that make sense? So if you can reach those thresholds soon enough, YouTube can pay you through the app. And I have not hit this threshold quite yet. I have the 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all for being here supporting. But I haven't quite hit the 4,000 watch hours. So you guys may have noticed that I've ramped up the live streams, my vlogs. I'm now doing interviews. So one, I can provide you all with more access to me, more content. But also, I really want to hit those 4,000 watch hours. And in order to increase my chances of that happening, I need to post more valuable content that will keep you all here watching, engaged, interacting in the comments, reposting, sharing, etc., etc., etc. But if you are considering making money from home, I would really consider doing content. If you have a skill, a talent, knowledge, anything that you can share, your personality, maybe lack of personality. I just watched someone vacuum yesterday before I went to sleep, not realizing I was watching someone vacuuming just because the video was so peaceful. It was his vlog at home. And I realized I just spent the last 15 minutes watching someone clean their home and talk a little bit about their life. And he's making a lot of money from this. So think about that. If you have a camera, I do everything on my phone. Everything is on my phone. This microphone is connected to my phone. I paid $8 for a dongle that connects this microphone and a charger into my phone, and I make it work. I have a light behind me so you guys can see me, and I go from there. It doesn't have to be this elaborate setup. I rarely use my computer, only when I'm auditing my interviews because those are longer and I do those all on Zoom. But if you're living at home right now, you don't even have to talk. You don't even have to show your face. You just have to find a niche and be willing to post at least 100 videos as soon as possible to start gaining traction and momentum with the algorithm, and then build off of that. And you may hit those 4,000 watch hours overnight. It can happen. I've seen it. I've witnessed this. People going viral, but making sure you know how to maintain this and not letting that get to your head. So where, maybe you start doubting yourself or get insecure the moment you have a bad video. No, just stay consistent. Just stay consistent, because a bad video today may be a good video, a hot video, a viral video next year. And going back to having multiple streams of income, if you are in the partner program through Google, which is who owns YouTube, your videos that have ads on them pay you for life. So if someone watches a video that you made last month, but you have AdSense that you manually added to them, that's going to pay you. So it all becomes passive income because it's evergreen. It just lives on your website, and then the more people that find you, it's just this amazing way of making money that I'm determined to be a part of. And I have found ways to make money through my content without only relying on AdSense. Because why? One is too close to none. All right? But something to consider. And if you want to talk more about YouTube and setting up your YouTube, visit my website, transactioncare.com. I want to make sure I can help you guys through those processes as well, because like I said, this has been a lead generator for me and something that has made me money outside of the platform, because I have my newsletter, because I have my email list, because I have my community set up. I have all of these things that live outside of social media. But because I use social media to talk about these things, I want to make sure I have all these other areas in place so you can find me and find my products, my services, my merch, and go from there. Okay? Next, TC vacation coverage. So for this one, I charge right now $20 per hour with a $5 minimum guarantee, meaning no matter what, no matter how much time you go away, 5 hours minimum guarantee, meaning I'll make $100 from this transaction, because I may touch your files for 1 hour, 10 minutes, 8 hours a day, and it just varies. So I like to keep that service at a reasonable price of $20 per hour, because you're coming into someone else's transactions, you're dealing with people you've never dealt with, and at the same time, I just didn't want to rip off TCs by charging what I normally charge for other projects, when sometimes I only will work on a file for maybe a couple of hours a day. So I have found that this works. If you want more of a breakdown of my TC coverage for you to help other TCs, or if you're a TC looking to hire someone and what you should be paying them, I think around the $20 per hour with the $5 minimum guarantee is reasonable. And then you guys can negotiate. This is how I came to it. I spoke to the other TC. She was traveling, and I said, what do you need? How many realtors do you have? And do you have a team that you work with? Do you have other people that help you? That helps as well. That helped me to realize, okay, $20 is fair because I'm not the only one doing this. Now, if you're the only one managing hundreds or dozens of files on your own alongside yours, you may want to bump that up to $30 per hour, $50 per hour. It's totally up to you. There are no rules to this. We make up the rules. As long as we abide by them, stay respectful, and do things legally, of course, that are meant to be done legally. But I think that has worked best for me. I don't do it that often. I think I do it every other year. And when I have slower seasons, I ask other TCs if they need help in their business. Not necessarily when they're on vacation, but when things are slower, I offer my services as like a part-time or temporary assistant, which segues me into my next stream of income. Is I work with a realtor. I was once her TC, but I cut ties with her in that department because I just wanted to cut my roster down and not have to manage so many transactions. I was going through a lot at that point in my life. But she stays reaching out to me for help. She's not that tech savvy, and she's not that organized either. So I will help her. I charge $50 per hour, and I'll help her 3 to 4 times a year, maybe for 1 hour. The longest I've been at her place is like 3 hours. So 3 hours, a couple times a year. And it's a good chunk of change, pays my phone bill. And I have helped her with her data entry. She owns a bunch of properties here in San Francisco. So I help her with her data entry, her file cabinet management, and basically office organization. So that's also another stream of income that I've considered maybe marketing more down the line or creating content about it. But I've helped her organize her office to be more functional, to be more functional and manageable, to where if things get out of hand, at least every piece flows and has a home. So pens can go here, papers can go here, leases can go here, just helping bring more flow, more space, more energy into her office space. And I spent like 3 hours doing that one time. And yeah, I love it. I love organizing stuff, and I don't know how I can do more of that, because my place is fairly organized. If anything, I move furniture around so often. I'm trying not to do that every week, but I do. Maybe I'll stream that on a different channel. But yeah, being on call for her, like she just called me. She actually inspired this video. She just called me. Well, she just asked me to call her, and I called her back earlier today. And it reminded me that, oh yeah, I do have a lot of jobs. Even though I'm not doing them around the clock, I still have access to these things that do help in times of need, right? So finally, a couple last things I want to talk about are Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard of Buy Me a Coffee, this is a platform, like a tipping service. So if you and I have a discovery call and you found it very helpful, but you don't really need my coaching services. You've had a change of heart with transaction coordination, but you really enjoyed our time and you want to thank me. Outside of just saying thank you or, an email response, you can tip me with money through companies like Buy Me a Coffee. That's the name of the company. I don't even drink coffee, but that's the name of the company. And you can donate one coffee, which is like $5. Two coffees is 10, 15, any amount of money you want. There's no limits to it. And I think that's pretty cool. And over the years, I've made, let me see if I could check how much I've made from Buy Me a Coffee. I think I've made at least $100, which I think is nice because that's $100 I didn't have prior to signing up for this. And let me see, all time. Oh, I've made $285 all time. And I've had Buy Me a Coffee for 4 years. The most someone ever tipped me was $90. Okay, you guys? And this was 2 years ago. So don't sleep on these different ways of and streams of income. Like nothing doesn't, like everything, like things don't all have to be free. You can say, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to, support me or tip me, here's my link to Buy Me a Coffee. I used to keep it in my signature of all my emails. You just never know. Like someone recently tipped me $5 and asked me a question and I answered it in the app. What? There's money everywhere. Everywhere. And speaking of money everywhere, I also do reselling. So for those that are familiar with reselling, I think there are other terms for it, but basically if I want to take the stuff that I own at home and sell it on like Facebook Marketplace or Poshmark, I could sell my clothes, my shoes, eBay. I do all of that. And that has made me a few $1,000s over the course of, I'd say, 5 years of doing it consistently. And I definitely could see it being a fruitful career if I were to just invest all my time into it. But it isn't like the sourcing part of it isn't something that I enjoy, nor is the part where I have to take photos, upload them, and do the descriptions. So that part of it is not fun for me. So that's why I don't think I would do well in that space. But you can make a good chunk of change if you have a lot of stuff in your home. There's stuff, they always say there's money on the floor everywhere, figuratively. But in this office alone, it's probably, I'm just looking around right now, at least, I don't know, $5,000 worth of stuff. $10,000 if I count my laptop, all of these electronics, monitor, jackets, speakers, chairs, desk. I might have $10,000 worth of stuff in this office that I could potentially sell. And if some stuff holds value, you could sell it for double, triple, quadruple, 10x what you originally paid for or were gifted. So just another way to switch up your mindset and generate other streams of income for yourself, whether it's passive or you're present or you have to do it in real time. But the point of this conversation was to let you guys know that I don't only do transaction coordination, because there have been seasons where I've had an abundance and an overflow, and there have been times where it's just steady, and then there have also been times where I had no deals, no transactions closing. I had a bunch of listings that kept me busy and got me, it kind of played a trick on my head and made me think that I was working, I was busy. I was like, I've been doing all this work, where's the money? And then I realized, I've been listing heavy, which doesn't pay me. So I might have to start charging a fee for this or find an exit route ASAP. But because I was so busy doing all these listings, by the end of the day, I'd be so exhausted. I grew resentful and frustrated because of that aspect of it all. And in order to prevent that, I had to manage my time better, communicate with my realtors better, take things off of my services that I just don't do at all. And if you want a breakdown of what I do from a day-to-day basis as a transaction coordinator, let me know in the comments and I'll definitely post that video next, or in the future, because transaction coordinator is a very tedious job with a lot of nuances, a lot of attention to detail that we are responsible for. And when your realtor is expecting you to do essentially something they could have taken care of and should be doing on their own, but because you didn't have the heart to say no or set a boundary, it's going to hurt you in the long run. And that's just, I'm speaking from experience. So in order to be a successful transaction coordinator, I think it's important to communicate both ways as to how that person works and what they expect of you. And especially when it comes to data entry, be very clear on like, what is it that you want me to do in terms of data entry that has nothing to do with me auditing this file, because that could make or break that working dynamic. Or increase your pay. It's up to you. Everything is up to you on how you want to make money and how you want to build your business, your services, your products. And lastly, before we go, I do want to talk about how I created t-shirts. They flopped. I never sold a single shirt. But it was the beginning of me trying things and taking risks and being comfortable with taking risks. I did get scared for a moment, but I feel like today I'm back to like, okay, let me start taking risks in ways that I can improve and get better and make more money, okay? Because you really do have to spend money in order to make money. And people that make more money also spend a lot of money to make more money. It's this vicious cycle, and I'm still trying to find harmony in where I can exist in those spaces. But for the most part, this has worked for me well, having all these different streams of income. I'm not always doing the assistant stuff. I'm not always doing office organization. People don't send me buy me a coffees every single day. I will say, if you made it this far in the video and you want to thank me or support me, buy me a coffee. Boom. I may make money from this video just by saying that. You never know. If you've enjoyed my content in the past, if I've helped you become a TC or helped you through quitting your job or finding your actual real career path, buy me a coffee. Thank you in advance. So let me know in the comments if you have more than one stream of income. Put the number in the comments right now. So if you have 2 or more, let me know that number. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with merch. I have 10 plus. So I'm going to say about 12 streams of income currently. And it works for me. I like a variety. I like a mix of things, but some other people may just do well with one stream of income, and that's okay, because you can have all transaction coordination be your one big tree of income, and then all your different branches can be related to TCing. So, yes, one is close to none, but that one stream can still be branched off into different directions in different areas that will still generate income for you, generate your, build your network, build your community, to keep you relevant, to keep you in this for the long run. I didn't last 8+ years by just doing one thing. I learned, I dipped and dabbled, I tried, I failed, I succeeded. So, cheers to you on your journey, wishing you all of the best. And if you have to grind and hustle right now until you build up your business or your clientele or your roster, get to it. Get to it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you made it to the end of this video, don't forget to drop the number of streams of income you have. Is it 0? Is it 1? Is it multiple? I would love to know, because that will also tell me you're a real one because you made it this far in the video, 30+ minutes. And join me for live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm also actually rereading Launch. So hopefully I can finish this in the next couple of weeks or so and apply it, not just read it, but to read it and apply it. And you guys may see that in real time and how that works out for me in terms of my content. But if you want to schedule a one-on-one session with me, everything lives at transactioncare.com. So visit my website, join the email list, become a member of the community. It's that easy. It's that simple. So with all of that said, thank you for tuning in. My name is Lillian Hernandez, and this is Transaction Care, the #1 real estate show on the market. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon. And before you go, make sure you subscribe and watch any of these videos for more content just like this one, and double tap my smiley face so you can subscribe.